That lately I've been questioning the moral good of cops. Are they an overall good? Are they an overall bad? Or are they a net neutral? And from time to time, I will see a cop that makes me think, holy shit, you are the epitome of terrible. And occasionally, I'll see a cop that makes me think, hey, you're not that bad of a guy. Maybe I'm wrong about you. This cop is option A. This guy is terrible. He hits somebody and then arrests them because I guess his feelers were hurt. And so he gets to be a raging asshole and carry a badge and a gun. He's also shot a motorcyclist in the past. Apparently, he was cleared on that. I don't know what that is. Maybe we'll look into his body cam footage for that. He also shattered a protester's jaw. Now it was BLM protests, so you know how those were fiery but mostly peaceful. Maybe that was justified. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. And then he arrested a disabled, or he arrested a veteran for he rear-ended the veteran and then arrested him. Yeah, there's no reason. That's the one we're going to talk about today. Dude was awesome. This happened in 2019, by the way. This is a relatively old clip, but I just saw it and was like, oh god, this guy's terrible, and wanted to yap about it. So here we go. I have to hook up my. I wasn't ready. Shocker. Headline: I was not ready. Who'd have thunk it? Let's switch over the audio real quick. Headphones. All right, let's watch Officer. Fucking what was his name? Ryan Wingo. Ryan Wingo. Let's watch Officer Ryan Wingo. And yes, I'm saying officer on purpose. I know how much troopers hate being called officer. We'll watch Officer Wingo harass this man. So I couldn't find footage that didn't have someone else's commentary in it. So I'm sorry, but we're just gonna have to ignore their commentary and talk about it. Hey, I said the same thing. Was it peaceful though? Because we've seen BLM protests and they're not always peaceful. So here's where it starts. That little. I appreciate the little lore in the demonstration there with the pictures of the cars. That was actually kind of neat. So he says that he had someone slam on the brakes in front of him, and that's clearly not what happened. He was being a bit of a maniac and fucking rear-ended them. I mean, clearly you're not allowed to honk at cops for doing things that they're not supposed to do. Everyone knows that. When you just bust a Yui for no reason and someone blows the horn at you for driving like an asshole. I mean, granted, yeah, he had a reason to. He was turning around to go pull someone else over, but clearly it wasn't that important because you're going to go after this guy for honking the horn. Clearly, it wasn't that big of a deal. Now, was it? I'd be pissed, by the way. I would fucking sue the shit out of this department. I hope that they did. I mean, this was 2019, so it's probably done and over with by now. I love how many times these shitty cops try to justify doing shitty things by saying, I'm doing my job out here. No, you're being a menace to society, my guy. You got a badge on your fucking chest and you're being a menace to society. This guy is the epitome of a shitty cop. And then the dude in the Hyundai says the appropriate thing. I'll see you in court. I'm not going to get out. I'm not going to beat the shit out of you. I'm going to take you to court. I'm going to fight you in court. Hear that? He almost said, I'm sorry. I think he was going to pull him with a, I'm sorry you feel that way, but then realized that wasn't going to end well for him. I think he tries to make this guy sound like he's the asshole for wanting the accident report. It's like, you ran into my car. Of course I want an accident report. So this guy's a little argumentative, a little pissed off. I can understand being a little argumentative, a little pissed off. The officer has still refused to say anything other than this is all your fault. And then he drags him out of the car for what reason and slams his face up against the window. And great, great example of how we should be policing. The why is pretty simple. He has the ability to do it, so he's gonna. What a dick. What a fucking dick. This guy's just an asshole. This dude needs to be fired. The man has every right to cuss this piece of shit out. I would cuss this piece of shit out too. I would go to jail. Just on merit alone, I would go to jail. Like, yeah, I cussed you out. You're a fucking degenerate, bro. You're a piece of shit. You're a disgrace to the badge. What an asshole. I think this just proves that cops can pretty much do whatever they want 100% of the time. Now, I've told this story before, and I'll tell it again. Day after Christmas, my wife gets in an accident. Uh, Car blew a red light while making a left turn, and my wife and the car collided. Did an immense amount of damage to the car. It took days to fix. I had to fix it myself because I didn't have the money to fix it. My nephew and I spent a couple days fixing this car for my wife, getting it squared away and drivable. And I'm still in the process of building her a bumper, but that's neither here nor there. We're building her an off-road bumper instead of just a factory replacement. So it's taking a little while because I want to design it and engineer it. And I want to make it just right, because I want her to have something that looks good. I don't want her to just have some whatever piece together bullshit. However, while we were at the accident, I noticed, and I'm not necessarily an astute observer, I noticed the woman that hit my wife was visually fucking shithoused. She was on something. She was in another dimension. She was flying through galaxies. She was not here on planet Earth with us. This woman was wrecked. She was hammer fuck drunk or high or whatever. I don't know if she took one too many pills or not enough pills or if she took her pills without eating, whatever. This lady was in another fucking galaxy. Cop didn't even attempt to drug test or sobriety test her. I show up, I say, hey, that's my wife. I start talking to my wife, making sure she's okay. And I ask the cop, can we push her car out of the road? We live right down the street. I'll get it towed home. It's no big deal. And at first he's like, yeah, okay. And then he decides that the car's not moving fast enough. And so he decides that the car's getting towed. Not only is the car getting towed, the car's getting impounded. For what? My wife didn't commit a crime. There's no reason to impound my wife's vehicle. She didn't do anything illegal. She didn't do anything wrong. She's not at fault. Ultimately, the officer decided that he couldn't determine who was at fault. He also took this woman that had caused the accident to Duncan. Took her to Duncan for some reason. Don't know why. But shortly after he said the car was getting towed, I explained to him, listen, man, we don't really have the money for this right now. We're kind of in a tight spot. Like, shit's not going well. Like, let me push this car out of the road and like, let me tow it home myself. Like, I can load it up on my dad has a car hauling trailer. I can load the car up onto his car hauler and I can have it home. Let me get it off the road so I can deal with this later. And he then proceeded to tell me that I can get off his scene or I can go to jail for no reason. Another officer that is excessively useless, that is excessively willing to escalate, and I called, my mother has been in the legal field for a long time. So anytime there's something like this, I call my mother. Plus, my mother knows all the cops in the town that we live in. She's lived in this town forever. So, it's always good to call mom because mom knows all these people. So mom might be able to chit chat with someone and be like, hey, they're broke. Let them let them deal with getting the car home on their own. And my grandfather was the barber in our town, so everyone knows everyone in this town. It's a small town. Well, it's gotten bigger over the years, but it's a small town for the most part. This cop did not care. He didn't give a fuck. The car was getting impounded. He had made up his mind. He decided to then proceed to tell my mother that I tried to pick a fight with him. I never tried to pick a fight with him. I asked him, like, hey man, can you not tow the car? Like, we don't have the money for this. Like, let us get it home. We live 2 blocks away. He continued to escalate with me. I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to, like, I don't have the money for a tow. I don't have the money for impound fees. What the fuck? So then he proceeded to take weeks. It took him a week and a half to do his police report, which I don't think that's standard. Usually you get those within a day or two. The accident reports, you usually have them within a day or two. He took 2 weeks, nearly 2 weeks. We're not counting weekends. He took just entirely too long to do it. He's degenerate, just fucking degenerate. This guy's shitbag, shitty officer. But he runs around, and this is a common thing in the town that I live in, where these cops, especially this guy, impound both cars involved, and they don't give you an option to tow your car. They say, well, your car's been in an accident, so we're calling our tow company, and it's being towed to our impound yard. The impound yard that they towed my wife's car to wasn't even in the same city. It was in a whole nother city. So we had to drive to a whole nother city, find the tow yard, and then we had to proceed to pay almost $400 to get our car out of impound. That's not counting damage to the car. That's just counting getting the car out of impound. Was almost $400. We barely had the money to do that. Then we had to start the repairs. We had to find fenders. We had to find headlights. We had to find a grill. This cop cost me nearly $1,000. Well, he cost us nearly $1,000 because he had a badge and he could. Threatened to arrest me multiple times. I didn't do anything. I didn't get aggressive with him. I wasn't impeding. I was there trying to help as much as I could. And he just continued to try to threaten to arrest me. He's just a piece of shit cop. And they slip through the cracks. But what I've been noticing is there are more and more piece of shit cops. It's more or less slipping through the cracks now as it is falling through an open pit. They are everywhere. Piece of shit cops are all over the place, and they do not care that they're pieces of shit. They know they're pieces of shit. They're proud to be pieces of shit. They don't care if they're fucking you out of your hard-earned money. Why would they? I don't care. I'm going to write you a ticket, and you're going to be on your way. Now, that being said, I have met some cops that were really good people. It's getting harder to find the good ones than it is to find the bad ones. And I think this guy exacerbates the situation by being overly aggressive the whole time because he knew he was wrong. The same with the cop that the cop that was responding to my wife's accident. He knew he was wrong, and so he doubled down. Instead of saying, "Hey man, I didn't mean to snap at you. I shouldn't have told you to get off my scene or go to jail. Like that was unnecessary." Instead, he doubles down on it to the point where, while my mother is talking to the officer, because I'm pretty sure they knew each other, the officer is sitting there telling my mother that I'm coming at him, that I'm aggressive with him, that I'm threatening him. It's like, all I said to you was, hey, that's my wife. Is everything okay? And I got ignored. So then I started talking to my wife. And then I asked you if we could push the car off the road. And you told me that I could go to jail. Like, you're a degenerate. You're a piece of shit. These two officers, the officer that I had a personal involvement with, and this officer in the body cam, or in the dash cam footage, they're the same person. Okay? They're not the same guy. Okay, they had different names. They're different. But they're the same person. They're the same cop that's willing to arrest you because they don't like you. They're the same cop that's willing to use their power and their say to do whatever they want. And if he would have called for backup, if he would have called for a supervisor, the supervisor would have 100% sided with him and done what he said. The supervisor would not have cared for 1 second what's wrong or what's right. The supervisor 100% would have said, well, you're obstructing, so you're going to jail. And I would have gotten arrested on the spot. I guarantee it. I guarantee I'd have gone to jail. But that's neither here nor there. I don't know. I like to talk about policing because as I've come to decide that I don't really need police in my life, and as I've come to decide that they're kind of useless to me, it is interesting to see people's interactions with them and to see how they're just willing to do whatever the fuck they want all the time. And it's not all cops. Not all cops are shitbags. But it seems to be that a majority of them are hyper aggressive. They're willing to do whatever they want because they have a badge and they can. And if they call backup, the backup's going to side with the other cop almost 100% of the time. And that's why I always say, don't fight cops in the street, fight cops in court. The video footage doesn't lie. If you're not being a piece of shit, the video camera doesn't lie. But anyway, that's all I got. I just wanted to yap about this and yap about shitty cops for a little bit. So I'll see y'all in the next one.